Okay, I get you. Hey, as far as these reads, I mean, I can do whatever you want. I've always done. I've always done the Standing Stone and the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay, I will have you do those.
So whenever we have a moment or something, but
that's fine.
Other than that, I mean, it's kind of your voice out there.
Right.
You are the voice. I watched.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Fairfield Medical Center, Park National Bank, Dagger Law, the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, Standing Stone Bank, Fairfield DD, North Body Shop, Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, the Edwards Insurance Agency, Buckeye Toyota, the Carriage Company, Huddle Tire and Auto, the Fairfield County Commissioner's Office, South Central Power, Sheridan Funeral Home, and Buckeye Lake Marina.
From Fulton Field, IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings Game of the Week. Tonight, it's a rivalry game from the Mid-State League Cardinal Division as the Berne Union Rockets take on the Fisher Catholic Irish. Hi again, everybody. I'm Josh Messerly, joined alongside by Tim Shoemaker up in the booth. And Tim, a rainy, cold, it is a football weather night, isn't it?
It is, but it's the first one we've had this year in Week 10.
Indeed it is, and the third member of our team, Marion Royster, and a man who deserves some hazard pay tonight, Marion. I don't envy your position down there on the field tonight.
I'll survive one way or another, Josh, but I appreciate your concern.
We come into tonight's game, Berne Union undefeated on the season, trying to finish it out with a perfect record. And they are coming in with a big win last week, 67-6 against Grove City Christian, Tim, and they got things rolling.
Yeah, it's kind of been a gauntlet for them. They've gone all through all their games, and if you look, the thing I noticed more than anything, Josh, when you figure it out, you know, the difference between their margins and their opponents. I mean, the closest margin was 19 points. So Fisher's got a chore ahead of them tonight, you know, to try and at least compete and stay in there and maybe get a little fortunate to do something with the Rockets.
Yeah, Irish come in 5-4 overall. They last played on October 8th. They had a game last week canceled against Columbus. So with that extra week off, yes, you get to rest some players, but do you worry about rust?
I don't think so at this time of year. I think more than anything, you need to get healthy and make sure you are. I think some of the teams that have done, I mean, you know, Berne had that opportunity to do it with such a big game. Talking with Coach Herbst, that, you know, they only played about half the game as starters. So, you know, I think that gets overweighed sometimes. I think you're better to be healthy than you are to practice and know more.
Let's bring in Marion. Down there on the field, wet conditions, kind of misty out there right now. How may that affect tonight's play?
Well, you raise a great point, Josh. It definitely could affect the play, especially when you consider that the Berne Union team typically plays its games on grass. Of course, their home field is grass, and many of their opponents' home fields are on grass as well. So, field turf, again, it's a great surface to play on very, very fast. But when you add weather into the element, it can make it a little slick. Fisher Catholic may have a slight advantage. But, again, it still should be a very good game. Big on big, as they say. A couple physical teams really going at it. As you said, football weather, the weather bug rearing its head finally for the first time in Central Ohio tonight, so it should be a good one. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, these are two teams that really like to run the football, so we're going to see probably a fast game tonight, which, given the weather, may be a good thing.
Now, with you making that statement, what's
I
going
know.
to happen? It's
No,
just
I
like
know.
the guy at the free throw line, Josh. You just jinxed it.
It's just like in a baseball game. I never say this has got great pace because then it just slows down like a Major League Baseball playoff game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tonight's pregame show is brought to you by Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events. Carol and Eric Whittington would like to invite you to stop by Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events in Lancaster. They're a small family-owned business and have been servicing the Central Ohio area since 2003. They would love to plan your next event, weddings, special events, even corporate events, all with a personal touch. They can be reached at 740-689-6991. And we are moments away from kickoff here as the Rockets have taken the field, and we're waiting on the Irish to take the field here momentarily as well. I can tell you this series has been kind of back and forth over the years. Fisher leads the all-time series 30-21. They last met in week 1 of last year, a crazy year, and the fact that those two teams met in week 1, but it was all Berne Union 44-0. Interesting, the home team has won the last 3 meetings in this series, and the last 2 games have been decided by 43.5 points. Fisher winning a blowout in 2019 and the Rockets winning a blowout in 2020.
Yeah, that there's maybe a little bit to that. For the most part, these are totally different teams this year, and I've kind of personally disregarded anything that went on in 2020.
True enough. Fisher won the toss and will defer. So they'll defend the north goal here at Fulton Field. And we'll remind you that tonight's kickoff is brought to you by Sheridan Funeral Home. Sheridan Funeral Home is proud to be supporting high school football. They have been servicing the communities of Lancaster and Fairfield County for over 100 years. There you see the Irish huddled up and the Rockets on the field as well. And we are moments away from getting this one started.
J.J. Villa will be kicking off for the Irish.
J.J. Veal will have it teed up. There you see him right there, getting the football from the official. And back deep, Bray Friesner for Berne Union. We get the whistle, and we are ready to go, and we are underway. This one going to be taken by an up back at the 25, getting out to the 35, and out near the 40-yard line. And that was Sammy Amna on the return for the Rockets, and they'll start 1st and 10 as quarterback Nate Nemeth, a 6-foot, 185-pound junior, leads the offense out of the field.
Yeah, we saw Nate when he first started as a freshman 2 years ago. He had to come in. They had injuries and lots of things happen, and he has really developed into a very good player.
Good at running the football, had 84 yards and 2 touchdowns, one for 6 and one for 89 last week against Grove City Christian.
The yards per carry for Namath and Friesner are just out of this world, Josh.
Yeah. 674 yards in the year for Nemeth as well. And he's going to tuck it and run and breaks out of a tackle and out across the 45-yard line for the Irish gang tackle him as Simon Messerly and Hyde O'Reilly there on the stop.
Nemeth, the ball carrier.
Well, the thing is, they're both explosive. And I know, speaking with Coach Timmis, one of the things he's concerned about were the big plays. He said, we have to minimize the big plays.
2nd down.
And he said that's a team that's well coached and trying to build on their success from a year ago where they got to the 3rd round before losing to Trimble.
Yeah, in the regional semis.
So we get a good look at the Berne Union quarterback. He'll send a man in motion. It's going to be a jet sweep around the end. That's Goldenschwager. And he's going to have a first down into Fisher Catholic territory.
Yeah, he did a really good job about running the pursuit there. I thought Fisher played that fairly well, but he just had quite a little burst of speed as he got on the end over there.
It'll be the first down of the game for the Rockets. Dolce on the stop for the Irish.
I tell you, Coach Herb just loves his offensive line.
Well, and they've got good size. So for a Division VII team, you don't see a lot of that. Here's a handoff, and I believe that's going to be Friesner on the carry as he gets upended at the end of that play. And we'll pick up about 7 on first down.
Trying to get some pace here, Josh.
And we'll see that quite often tonight from these Rockets. Friesner 163 yards and a few touchdowns on his own last week. Nemeth keeping, and he will have another first down inside the 40 down to the 36-yard line. See a lot of QB powers out of this Berne Union offense.
Yeah, and their line, you know, like I said, he just gushed about how proud he is and how hard they've worked and, you know, just come along as the season's gotten on. They've got even just that much better.
And you don't have to watch much film to really notice the speed and the athleticism of this Berne Union team.
Not
it really stands out. Nemeth will work out of the pistol on 1st and 10. Toss to Friesner, and he will be wrapped up in the backfield for a loss as Jack Wright comes up to make the play.
You know what's interesting is, you know, this is only Jack Wright's second year of football. He did not play until he was 9th grade, which just goes to show you don't have to play at that level necessarily to be successful at the varsity level.
Yeah, just a sophomore and still learning the game. Nemeth going to put it up. Now he's going to tuck it and run, and he's going to have a first down. He's going to have a gain down to the 30, shy of the first down as he broke a couple of tackles. Kavanaugh Frank cleans it up, but it looked like the Irish had him for a loss in the backfield.
Well, he's really deceptive, and he's got good feet and speed.
Bring up 3rd and 4 for Berne Union as clock ticks down inside of 10 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Reset the tight end from left to right in the formation as Nemeth drops back, throws over the middle, and in and out of the hands of Sammy Amna, his intended receiver. Would have a first down just shy of the 20-yard line. Instead, he'll bring up 4th down.
Big play here for Fisher. If you can get a stop first time in the game here, that would be big for momentum for them.
Yeah, indeed it would.
I mean, you're trying to defend a team that's averaging 45 points a game.
Yeah, Irish on defense giving up 21 points per game. So it'll be 4th and 4. The Rockets will spread it out. Zone read, it's going to be a keep by Friesner, and he's going to have the first down inside the 25 down to the 22-yard line. Friesner so quick, hard to stop him on a 4th down.
You guys might have saw on that play, Jack Wright hesitated just a tad. Coaches let him know about it on the sideline. He's got to attack on that one, particularly on a 4th and 4 play. Had the opportunity to come up and make a stop, but didn't get there quite in time. Hesitated just a bit on the delay there and caused a first down for the Rockets.
That's a 3rd first down on this drive for Berne Union. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 22. Berne Union's kind of slowed it down a little bit now. Friesner on the carry to the 15, cuts it back and drags the tackler down to the 6-yard line. Riley again on the stop for the Irish, but it'll be 1st and goal to go for Berne Union.
Just having a hard time on the perimeter of making the tackle right now, Josh. They've had some bodies in the areas, but Friesner and Nemeth are just good.
And that's really where you thought that Berne Union would have the advantages out on the edge using their speed and athleticism. First and goal to go for the Rockets. And it's going to be a handoff and pushing inside.
Friesner, the ball carrier.
Looks like Friesner again on the carry. Or no, rather, that's Goldenschwager on the carry. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe lost a yard back to the 5.
Second and goal.
It'll be
for the
second
Rockets.
and goal.
Ball spotted at the 5-yard line.
Rockets will break the huddle. They don't look like they huddle like a traditional team, kind of a bit of a sugar huddle, if you will.
Yes.
Second and goal. Friesner weaving through the defense, gets near the goal line and stopped there. Kavanaugh Frank in on the stop for Fisher Catholic.
Kavanaugh Frank on the tackle for the Irish.
Now bring up third and goal. They're going to actually say his forward progress was stopped at the 2.
Third and goal for the Rockets from the 2-yard line.
Yeah, if I'm, looking at Coach Herbst, I don't think he's going to get real cute here. They may run the option here a little bit or something like that, but as you can look with that line, Josh, they're huge.
Could be 4-down territory as well. Nemeth will throw it, and it's going to be an easy touchdown, but there is a flag in the back of the end zone, so we'll check the laundry first. Couple flags in the end zone. So we'll hear first from Tom Trillman
Penalty flags on the play.
and see about that. So an ineligible man downfield against Berne Union wipes out the score. That's a costly penalty for
Sure
the
is.
Rockets.
It's a big lift for the Irish.
Yeah, indeed it is.
And that was a perfect play call, guys. They had exactly what they wanted because they knew that the Fisher Catholic linebackers had to read, react, and go. They had to, trust what they see and couldn't really hesitate. So calling the right play there, was able to loop the receiver in the back of the end zone, but all for naught.
Mariano, was there more than one player? I saw a couple of flags. Was there more than one player down the field?
I couldn't see. I did see number 45. Now, he's an eligible guy, but he knew it immediately, so it was something that they knew, didn't hesitate, and knew that something was off.
So third and goal from the 7th. Low snap. Nemeth gets it, sidesteps the defender, and takes it into the end zone.
Hey, that's all him.
Indeed it is.
The defender was there. He just, like you said, sidestepped and did a little skip and a whoop-de-doo, and he's in the end zone.
Yeah, that was some fancy footwork by Nate Nemeth, and he gets the Rockets on the board.
That drive took up almost a half of the quarter.
And that can start to wear on a team that doesn't have nearly as much depth. Berne Union, quite a few more players on their roster than Fisher Catholic. The extra point is up by Friesner, and it is good. So with 6:25 to go in the opening quarter, it is now 7-0 Berne Union.
Like I said, it's all on him. When you have a talent like that, you use it.
Yeah, they say break down, make the tackle, but good luck with that.
Well, his footwork's good. He's quick, and he's played for 3 years now, so he is not a young quarterback, even though he's only a junior.
And I remember talking to Coach Herbst. You referenced that game from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember, the Rockets came in very beat up. They were just trying to put 11 healthy bodies out on the field. And, he said, look, we're going to take our lumps now. We've got these young guys. They're going to get experience, and that experience is now starting to pay off. So we'll see what the Irish do on offense after the defense surrenders the first score of the game. And on a night where you're going to expect a lot of running to chew up as much time as Berne Union did, that's probably exactly to plan.
Yeah, we'll never argue with that.
Well, of course. we root for us, right?
Yeah. We like all the teams here.
Exactly. Friesner's got it teed up, and will let it fly.
Wow.
And Tenza will take this one at the 5. He had to back up a little bit to get that. Stiff arms the guy, and he'll get out to the 26-yard line. As in there to make the stop was Ian Northrup.
At 5'9", 150, he was hanging on, man.
He was hanging on for dear life, that's for sure.
Northrup on the tackle for the Rockets.
We'll get another look at that kickoff return.
You know, Tenza's good size, good weight, speed, and he's a tough runner, as we've seen in the past.
Yeah, unfortunately, Fisher Catholic does not list their height and weight on their roster. Here's a stiff arm.
Hang on.
He had two, right around the waist and around the ankle. And speaking of Jack Tenza, he rumbles ahead to the 31-yard line.
It's going to be interesting to see how Berne plays this. I know Coach Herbst, I think they're only giving up about 12 points a game, and I think, honestly, he said the first team's only had given up 4 touchdowns in 8 games. That's pretty good.
Jack Tenza, 4 touchdowns, 286 yards on the ground 2 weeks ago against Corning Miller in the last Irish win, a 46 win at Miller. Tenza again straight ahead. He's going to have enough yardage maybe get the first down as he drug a couple of defenders.
Well, this is where the physicality really gets going here. I mean, Berne's physical, but their backs with Friesner and Nemeth, you don't see that as much. With this style right here, as you see when he hands off, there's just going to be some collisions here. And they opened up a nice hole for him also.
And you don't see many running backs in Division 7 the size of Jack Tenza either. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Irish. And here is Wright around the end. And he gets run out of bounds out near the 43-yard line as Luke Schaefer forced him out.
You know, one of the things that Coach Herb spoke about, he goes, I really think Fisher's a very physical football team, and we have to match that. We can't look at the records and all that. We got to know when we go up there, they're going to run the ball. That's their one thing. They're going to run the ball. I don't think they've thrown a pass in 4 weeks, to be honest with you.
I think the notes said week 6 was the last time they threw the football. It's almost like Lancaster. Here's a handoff again to Tenza, big hole, and he's going to have another first down into Rockets territory. Irish may have found something here on this opening drive. Jack Tenza finding some running room. And you wonder in these rivalry games, too. There's another look at Tenza.
Yeah, I mean, there were guys that, you know, came in and had penetrated off defensively, but he just goes by them. They're non-existent.
I was going to say, you wonder in these rivalry games if there's a little extra motivation, too, and how that may play out. Here's Wright on a carry again. And he is forced backwards.
I think Jack had an inside cut there with the receiver blocking him toward the sideline, and he missed it. He just didn't see it that time.
Even still, he picks up 3 yards on that carry. Clock ticks down near 4.5 to play in this quick-moving first quarter.
Yeah, you absolutely called it on that one, Shu. Wright could have stuck his foot in the ground and planted upfield and got a good 5 or 6 yards. Yeah. I don't know if he missed a hole. He looks a bit winded as well. Again, that was a long drive that they were on before and a lot of sweep plays coming at him, so that may have effect on him as well.
That's a good point.
Here's an inside handoff to Wright, and he's not getting away from that. A nice play by Carter Carpenter, the 6'5", 305-pound senior defensive lineman.
Yeah, I don't want him to fall on me either.
As Wright just ran right into him.
You're not going to push him around, that's for sure.
No. Talk about Tenza, you don't see backs like him. I don't think you see too many linemen like Carter Carpenter either.
Especially not at this level.
That's what I mean, at the Division 7, yes.
You know, one of the guys that Tony mentioned Coach Herbst to watch for. He said, watch Carson Bauer. He was a nose tackle, and we got him on linebacker, and he says, I think he's our most physical player.
And the Irish are going to put it up in the air and undercut right away. And a flag thrown in. O'Reilly is taken down at midfield, so we'll have to check the laundry. Nemeth on the stop. Will be going for a loss, but the Irish indicating this could be against Berne Union.
Namath made a really good play and tackle on that coming up.
Personal foul against the Rockets will give the Irish a first down.
Boy, that's what you
Ball's
don't
at
want.
the 35
Yeah.
yard line.
You got to keep emotions in check.
And in a rivalry game, it's hard to do that sometimes, but you know that that's going to be something the officials are going to even look for in these type of games. So 1st and 10 for the Irish. Tenza gets the handoff again and pounds it down to the 32-yard line. Didn't quite get a chance to see where that personal foul in the last penalty came from, but
Ashland and Winkler on the tackle.
It's in the
for
secondary,
Rockets.
guys. I do know that. Just some extracurriculars after the play as it goes, but it was in the left side of the field in the secondary.
so it makes it 2nd and 7. Tenza will go in motion. Here's a handoff right straight ahead. Bounces off one guy, but it's thrown backwards. Giving forward progress to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, there's Carson Bauer right there. You saw the physicality from his linebacker spot.
Bauer
Watch
and
him.
Winkler on the
Watch his
spot
stick right
for
here.
the Rockets.
Boom.
3rd and 7 for the Irish.
Bauer leads the team with 61 tackles on the year, 12 solo tackles.
Like Coach Earp said, he was a nose tackle, and he says we had to get him where we could move him around more. So he moved him to linebacker because he was talking about their defense, and what makes them strong is they have movement or blitz 90% of the time on defense. And he said, I'm really impressed with how smart our players are and have adjusted to that because we do a lot of things defensively.
It's amazing sometimes you move players around different positions that allow somebody else to take a position, and it's kind of a trickle-down effect. And Marion, you and I, the game we did a couple weeks ago against Reynoldsburg, they had a situation where they had one position player move to a different position, and they allowed another defensive lineman, and that kind of trickle-down effect where you improve your defense.
Yeah, and a switch like that can make all the difference in the world, Josh, especially when you've got guys sometimes, trying out different positions. A lot of guys sometimes don't have a lot of experience playing the game, and it just takes one time. You say, hey, this guy isn't really excelling in this particular position, and you move him to one position, and that not only frees him up to play more naturally to the style of what he's used to, but sometimes it's a trickle-down effect, and other guys can move to other positions that they're more comfortable with. So, again, it can make all the difference in the world. You just never know.
Irish will have 3rd and 7 after the timeout. It's going to be a toss, and it's going to be Tenza, and he gets it inside the 30 down to the 28. He'll be short of the first down. But I would say it looks like Coach Luke Timmis is going to lead the offense on the field.
Absolutely.
Brings up a 4th and 3.
Well, it's a rivalry game, week 10. Why not? Put the chips on the table.
Hey, you're 5-4 playing a team, and there is something on the line here tonight. I mean, if Fisher wins, they tie for the league championship.
Yeah. And don't think they weren't reminded about that this week. Here's a handoff, Tenza on 4th down, and he looks like he's going to be short. And it's going to be a turnover on downs.
Dylan Winkler came up and really took him on.
There you see Winkler trotting off the field, and the Rockets get a big stop on defense.
Winkler's 6 foot 200, so he could take the blast from Tenza that he delivers because Tenza does deliver the hit usually.
Yeah, you look up and down this Berne Union roster, good size. I mean, you don't see some of this size at Division V level.
No. They've got it going, Talked to Coach Herbst about that. This is his, 4th season now. They're 28-10. And that's getting things going, Josh. They're starting to get recognized.
Of course, Herbst spent 4 years as a coach at Fisher Catholic prior to coming to Berne Union. This one's overthrown for his intended receiver, Amna.
Good coverage by the Irish there. Got safety help.
Looks like some bracketed coverage there as we'll get another look. We'll take a look after this play at that replay.
2nd and 10 for the Rockets.
Clock stop with 1:15 to go in the quarter. 7-0 Rockets scoring on their opening drive. A little option. Friesner will take it to the 30. Got a lane, 40. Down the sidelines, and no one's going to catch him. Bray Friesner will take it to the house for the score.
There's your big play right there. 74 yards, Josh.
And when he gets out in open field, good luck.
No chance there. You know, Coach Timmis talked about, you know, we need to, you know, take care of the big plays. Well, watch the big play with his feet. And then sheer speed.
And even the guys trail him just can't take a good enough angle.
Nope. Too much speed for Friesner.
Friesner came in with 1,100 yards on the year. That's his 18th touchdown of the season.
You know, I said earlier about, you know, how much their yards per carry. Friesner's averaging 17.5 yards a carry.
Well, you run like that helps.
Yeah, no kidding.
And he does it all as he kicks it through the uprights. Makes it 14-0 Berne Union.
Guys, I wish they would have had one of those top speed things that you see on national on the TV, you know, to see how fast he was going there, because he was moving down the sidelines on that play.
Yeah, I think they would say stat that as far as his top speed.
Exactly.
So 14-0 Berne Union on top, and you know, it's not like the Irish didn't have much going offensively. They just kind of sputtered once they got past midfield. So, you know, if they feel like they may have an opportunity to stay in this game, you know, only down 14-0, but
you have to respond now, though. You know, they got the ball inside the 30, had a 4th and 3, and just didn't make it. And you know, here's the problem with that is Burns got so much explosiveness offensively. Is now, you know, you look up, it was 7-0, and within 20 seconds later, it's 14-0.
And more importantly, the psychology now.
Absolutely.
It's like you get down 2 scores to your rival. You knew that it's going to be, you know, tough coming into this game. How do you respond, as you said?
Well, and one of the keys really for Fisher tonight is time of possession. You have to play defense with your offense a little bit. And, you know, they had a drive that was doing that, but unfortunately, you know, or fortunately if you're rooting for Berne, you know, Berne stopped them and then made the big play and got the ball to their playmaker.
You mentioned the keys, and we'll remind you tonight's keys of the game brought to you by North Body Shop, providing quality customer service, parts, and reliability since 1979. Owner Mark North will provide you with a free written warranty in each estimate. That's Mark North of North Body Shop. He'll treat you right.
I mean, Friesner, that's his 18th touchdown this year. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah.
He played 8 games. I mean, that's over two touchdowns a game. I mean, come on.
That's nothing to sneeze at for sure.
Not at all.
Friesner the kickoff. Wright brings it across the field. Gets to the sidelines and runs out of real estate. Nice play on special teams made by Ian Northrup again, who had a tackle in the last kickoff. He got stiff-armed here, but recovered and made the tackle.
Just a little different person stiff-arming.
Yes.
Jack Wright's a sophomore and tends as a bull back there.
Well, you get in the weight room a little bit. Maybe by the time he's a senior, his
Absolutely.
stiff arm means a little bit.
Absolutely.
So 1st and 10 for the Irish. Inside of a minute to go in the opening quarter. There's a handoff, Tenza straight ahead, and he drags a couple of tacklers to the 39-yard line. Here's a look at that last drive, the first play of the drive for Berne Union. Watch this coming right into your living room.
2nd and 4 for the Irish.
Whoa!
Tom, what happened?
When Tom Russo's already battling the weather down there, then you got players running into him.
Drop the camera and catch it.
Was Marion close by? He could have used him as a shield or something, I guess.
I couldn't move that quick to get there, guys.
Oh, okay.
I really could. Not anymore.
Not anymore. There's Wright on the end around, and he's taken down across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Austin Snyder makes the tackle, but it'll be enough to move the sticks.
Yeah, Burne's getting penetration, but Fisher's doing a nice job. Caught him on the counter there. You can see right here. See the counter? They've got penetration, Josh, but they're reaching with their arms instead of trying to make contact. Break down and tackle.
Nearly a horse collar at the end of that. And it will take us to the end of the first quarter with the score, Berne Union 14 and Fisher Catholic nothing.
Again, we'd like to remind you, please join us immediately following the game.
And while we got this break, let's give a big shout out to Standing Stone Bank. Whether you're ready to tackle a mortgage loan or need cash for home improvements, make Standing Stone Bank the key player in your home or business financial plans. Business to business, neighbor to neighbor, let's grow this town together. Standing Stone Bank, an equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Should mention that before the game tonight, there was a pretty cool ceremony that happened on the field. Fisher Catholic assistant coach John Young is celebrating his 60th season coaching football.
He's so special, and I think when I got to Lancaster in 1980, I've known him since. At this point, and he already had 19 other years in coaching before I met him.
There you see some of the ceremonies before on the field, pregame, and 60 years.
Been at Fisher since '95, so 26 years here at Fisher.
And even that is, some coaches don't even coach that long.
Oh no way. John's he's a gem. I don't know what else to say about him. He's a good old Pomeroy boy from down on the river.
There you see him on the sidelines, and when they say coaches are lifers, he's definitely a lifer in football. Jack Wright carries for a loss on first down. Snyder on the tackle for Berne Union. It'll be a loss of 4 on that carry. We certainly say hats off to Coach Young for all the dedication. Just think of all the young men that he's impacted over the years.
Yeah, it's really almost inconceivable, to be honest with you.
2nd and 13. Here's Tenza, finds a seam, and he gets it out down inside to the 47-yard line. We'll bring up a crucial 3rd down.
Guys, I really like Tenza on that belly action, the off tackle, not just running him right into the interior of the defense. That's really Berne's strength. I mean, you see the size that they have in there, but if they're able to get Tenza the ball, again, not necessarily in space, but just if off tackle, maybe in the 6 gap, 5 gap, they can have some success there.
And they're going right to it. This time the Rockets respond, gang tackling Tenza. They give him a yard forward progress, but that's about it.
Big decision here for Coach Timmis.
He's mauling it over on the sidelines.
Yeah, you're darned if you do and darned if you don't. You
Right.
know, I mean, if you kick it to them with a big play they have inside them. Fisher did a good job on the first drive. Berne, give them credit. They executed inside the red zone. But, you just got to try and figure out. But you got to make 4 yards. You don't want to give them a short field.
Right, and Coach Timmis will go ahead and send out the punt team. Friesner and Amna back deep. Now Friesner will come up, and the punt's safe. And Amna will call for a fair catch inside the 15-yard line. As Brennan Quaintance, a nice punt there. And the Rockets will take over up 14-0 inside of 10 minutes to play until halftime.
Well, Amna, he's got 4 return touchdowns this year.
Yeah.
3 on the punt and 1 on the kickoff.
Dangerous man to kick it to.
I mean, they just got a lot of explosion. And like I said, when you average 45 points a game, you got to have something there.
Right.
But it does start up front. It starts with your line and those people. And like I said, Coach Herbst couldn't give enough compliments to his line and how hard they've worked.
So far, they've been successful at 2 scoring drives, trying to make it a third here. It opened up some distance between themselves and the Irish. So Nemeth will work out the shotgun as you get a good look there at the O-line for Berne Union. And over the middle, pass is batted down the line of scrimmage. See who got a hand on that one for Fisher Catholic, but looked like a pass over the middle intended for the tight end.
Well, that's a good job. If you're getting blocked and can't make penetration toward the quarterback, get your hands up. One of the greatest ways to play defense is pressure the ball in any sport.
Looks like Waylon Yeager there with the big paws to knock it down. Nemeth wasn't quite sure whether it was incomplete or not, so wisely picked it up. Hey, you never know.
No, you do not know.
And there is no instant replay to overturn it. Rockets will break the huddle. Really taking their time to run this second down play. Friesner around the end. Breaks a tackle, cuts upfield, and we'll have a first down for the Rockets.
Boy, he's slippery as an eel.
Is it? Well, probably especially tonight with the rain.
Well, I'm sure it doesn't hurt for him. You know, the only thing about this game that could be better is if we were on a grass field. The mud would be unbelievable.
Long track right.
You can see Tenza. You see a player slipped by.
Yep.
And finally, Kavanaugh Frank wrangles him.
26-yard line.
And guys, we talked about the rain earlier in the game, and I'm sure you can see it on the camera now, but it is, pretty much dry now. The rain has stopped, so if there was any disadvantage that Berne Union was at, it looks like they're on full goal now.
There's a handoff on first down. Friesner again will pick up 7 yards. Mariana, is the field drying pretty well, or is it still pretty slick out there?
It actually is drying pretty well, guys. It's I don't have cleats on obviously, but I think as you're planning on this field turf, it's not as wet as you might have anticipated, and allows the players to get their footing and make plays. And you see, many of the Berne Union players are not having any trouble tonight.
Anymore, having grass is the exception. It used to be most teams played on grass and rarely played on turf. And Friesner will again have another first down for the Rockets, this time out to the 40-yard line, is chewing up some yards on the ground.
Well, every time he runs, too, he falls forward. He's not going backwards. And, you look at him, he's not huge in stature, but he is talented.
Rockets speeding it up a little bit now. Garrett Carpenter, the tight end, will move over. And there's Nemeth, will keep it. Nemeth has got some running room down the sidelines. Shakes and bakes. Breaks out of a tackle. Cuts it back to the 15, to the 10. He's got to take this in for a score.
Wow, what a run.
I think it's coming back, guys. Flag on the play.
And there's a Berne Union player back at the 40. And yes, it is a hold, but it's still worth seeing again. That's a human joystick right there.
Yeah, he did everything he could do to get to the end zone.
Penalty occurred right around midfield.
I think we had a hold.
I believe you're correct. We'll get a look at our officiating crew as well here momentarily while we wait on the call for Tom Trillman, who is our referee tonight.
I think that one was like a silent move.
I think it was, yeah. I did see him do the initial indication. Didn't see him make the official call, but it is a holding call. So there's the officials tonight.
Yeah, the referee Tom Trillman, the umpire Garrett Barnhart, linesman Bryce Davis, line judge Janice Workland, back judge Chris Schubert, and that's the 5 for tonight.
Yep, no center judge tonight, so those are your folks in stripes, and it's 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line, so basically a redo. Clock stop with 7:57 to go in the half. Nemeth fakes the bubble, and he's going to tuck it up and run, and breaks a tackle as he gets out across to the 46-yard line.
Pins on the tackle.
They just look so confident, and they should be. I mean, you had a good run last year, and you haven't been beaten this year, so you ought to be confident. But they're showing it without an arrogance.
Yeah, and we'll talk about their playoff future coming up. We'll get around the county as well in the second half. But they're a team that's going to be a tough out in the playoffs. Gain of 7 there for Nemeth. He'll be 2nd and 3. Friesner slips a tackle. Gets into Fisher Catholic territory down the sideline and forced out of bounds at the 30-yard line as O'Reilly will force him out.
Pushed out of bounds by Hyde O'Reilly.
They had him dead to rights at the line of scrimmage, guys, and he just slipped out of almost 3 tacklers there. Excellent blocking on the perimeter as well by Amwa.
Yeah, you just saw Tenza unable to get to Friesner. And a
Nemeth, the ball carrier.
carry by Nemeth, and he'll have another first down in the red
Riley
zone.
on the tackle for the
Riley
Irish.
again on the stop for the Irish.
And Burns just exerting their will right now.
1st and 10 for the
See
Rockets.
a lot of hands on hips for the Irish as well, and that's usually not a good sign on
19.
defense. First and 10. Nemeth will hand off to Friesner. Pick up 5 to the 15-yard line. This is a team that hasn't really thrown the ball all year, and I'm sure it's going according to plan, not having to, but you wonder, you get in the playoff situation, teams may start stacking the box more if they're going to have to open it up a little bit.
Well, a comment used to come from J.D. Graham at Newark Catholic and all those championship years they had. He said, you run the ball to get the playoffs and you throw the ball to win the playoffs.
True enough.
He used to say that all the time.
There's Friesner. Irish, looked like the ball came out late, but it looked like his forward progress had been stopped. That's coming up to make the stops. Bodie Sullivan, Waylon Yeager also in there.
On the tackle, along with Waylon Yeager.
Now, that was the best defensive play that Fisher's had for quite a while.
Yeah, first negative play we've seen for a while out of the Irish defense. Bring up a third down here, and it'd be a win for the Irish to hold the Rockets to a field goal attempt.
Oh, it'd be a huge victory for them. I think if looking at Berne, they're going to do something here to try to get on the perimeter.
You got Friesner in the backfield.
Yeah, he and Nemeth both. I mean, they're just so dangerous as runners.
Send a man in motion. Back to pass. Nemeth throwing over the middle. That is caught for a touchdown. That's Bray Friesner.
Nice play and a nice toss by Nemeth.
Pass is complete to
Nice touch.
Friesner.
Yes.
That's hard to teach high schoolers.
Yeah, you see it here. Fake the jet sweep. Friesner come out. Bam. Right in the middle of the field.
It's an excellent play call, guys. And Friesner, gosh, what doesn't he do at this point? My word. He's kicking extra points. He's catching balls in the end zone. He's breaking 70-yard runs. I mean, what a talented player. My goodness.
And after this, he's going to go serve hot dogs at the concession
Probably.
stand.
I would not be surprised, Josh.
Friesner on to attempt the extra point and knocks it through, and it's 21-zip Berne Union with 5:04 to go until halftime. And we'll remind you tonight's first half scoreboard is brought to you by Buckeye Toyota. Buckeye Toyota would like to wish all the local athletes the best of luck this season. Buckeye Toyota is your hometown dealer that is here to help. Visit us online at mybuckeyetoyota.com. Of course, we thank them for their assistance with our van that we had over the last few weeks. Now we've got the trailer back, which the guys are liking tonight because they got the heat on in there and they're staying warm and dry.
Ready for playoff football.
Exactly. Can you believe this is week 10?
No.
I mean, it feels like it's just flown by. I mean, we were here week 1 and we were sweating to death, and now it's chilly and rainy and, like football weather, as we said.
Yes, it's amazing, though, I mean, how fast it does go. I try to tell people, whether they're parents or young players, enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. It goes so fast, and then it's over.
Yeah, Rob Carpenter, the former Lancaster head coach, used to say, you only have 10 opportunities to play high school football. You're only guaranteed 10 games. Take full advantage of it. And after last year, you're not even guaranteed 10, so you certainly take every one, and make it precious.
Well, even this year, as I was looking through the regional stuff, Josh, there's a lot of people with 8 or 9. This will be their 8th or 9th game. They've lost one game, maybe 2, found somebody else to play maybe on one of the canceled weeks. So, we're not through all this yet. It certainly is less and better off, but it's still a challenge.
Indeed, and we're looking forward to get through a basketball season as well. And this ball will stop at about the 10-yard line. Wright will pick it up, finds a seam to the 30, cuts it to the sideline, and he'll be upended at the 48-yard line by guess who? Ray Friesner, making the tackle on special teams. But a good return by Jack Wright.
Outstanding return.
Irish needed that one, guys. Get some momentum going. Got the sideline pumped up and something that they needed on that play.
Irish from the 48-yard
Get
line.
another look at Wright running down the sideline.
Whoa. Hate to see that, how he landed.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Fisher Catholic. Tenza pushing ahead into Berne Union territory. Picks up a couple on 1st down.
Reasoner on the tackle.
Reasoner again on the stop for the Rockets. Of course, this is a Berne Union team trying to do something that's not been done since 1986. That's an undefeated season, what would be their 5th in school history.
2nd and 7
No,
for the
it's
Irish.
no matter how good you are, it's hard to win them all.
Right. Tenza running over left tackle, gets to the 45-yard line. It'll be just a couple yards short of a 1st down.
Well, there's a lot of things that go with that, Josh. As far as from the coaching standpoint, you got to keep people, inside the box a little bit, not get too crazy, and be excited, but how to come back and focus week to week, day-to-day practices. There's a lot to that, and obviously Coach Herbst has done an outstanding job with the Rockets.
3rd and 3. Here's Tenza. He's going to have the 1st down. Runs over a defender. And finally slowed down at the 36-yard line. Certainly that's been the best offense tonight for the Irish, is give it to Jack Tenza.
He's had a really nice half running the football. And the line's done a good job overall.
1st and 10 for the Irish.
I mean, you're really one-dimensional at this point.
Right.
And, Berne knows it, and Berne has good defense and good players on their defense.
Showing blitz here on 1st down. Tenza runs by it, and he will have close to another 1st down, just be maybe a yard short there.
Well, that's what Marion was talking about, getting in the 5 or 6 hole out there instead of the interior near the centers and guards. Get off tackle there a little bit and run like a slant. You see it here. I mean, that's a big game.
Yeah, certainly the Irish don't have the size inside to go toe-to-toe with Berne Union, and they know that, and so do the Rockets. And here is Tenza. They'll have enough for a 1st down to the 24-yard line.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you guys mentioned the other things about the Irish offense here. The one thing that I think they're missing sometime is the running of the quarterback. An offense like this, sometimes when you have a quarterback that can run the ball and is a threat as well to run the ball to the backfield. Kiefer, again, a little younger, not a part of the offense in that way, but it kind of handicaps the offense a bit, so it makes it that much harder.
And Kiefer, who we've not mentioned a whole lot about, but just a freshman. Still trying to figure things out at the varsity level as Tenza wrapped up right away. Is coming in there to make the initial hit.
I've always felt that you need, whatever sport it is, football or basketball, you need 3 major threats on the offensive part of the game. And right now, Fisher's got 2 really good threats. That's a great point by Marion. Anybody you watch who runs the ball in this day and age has a good quarterback also.
Right.
That runs the ball.
Timeout taken by Fisher Catholic, which will allow us to remind you that timeouts tonight are brought to you by the Carriage Company, located at 1031 North Memorial Drive in Lancaster. Learn more at carriagecompany.com. And we'll remind you that coming up is our high school band show, brought to you by the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Crematory and Monuments, family owned and operated since 1889. Check them out at funeralhome.com. Frankie Smith Funeral Home, respect for tradition, regard for change, and by Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Personal or business banking, whatever you need. We take it seriously because we know you do too. The difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So it will be 2nd down and 9 for Fisher Catholic out of this timeout. Should mention one more note about that halftime. We'll have some clips of the halftime band show from the Fairfield County Fair that took place last week. A good show put on by all the county schools, so we'll have clips from that show from last week. You're on second down. Kiefer going to put it up in the air, finds right in the flat to the 15, racing to the 5, and he is in. Touchdown Irish.
How about that, a touchdown pass?
Yes, we saw that one coming.
So I said, guys, you got to make him a threat. They made him a threat on the very next play. Didn't run the ball, but threw it, scored a touchdown.
How about that?
And they hadn't thrown a pass prior to that till week 6, or since week 6. So the Irish get on the board with $1:52 to go. And J.J. Vio comes out to attempt the extra point out of Kiefer's hold.
Well, I liked what Wright did there too, Josh. He was straight line.
He got north in a hurry and gets in the end zone as we get another look.
Great call. Get him in some space. Good job by 77 getting out here and leading the way. Now he becomes a cheerleader as he goes into the end zone.
Well, you had to think the Rockets weren't expecting that.
Oh, heck no.
When you see in the stat sheet, hey, they haven't thrown the ball in a few weeks, we're going to load up the box. But
Well, and you can prepare for it all you want.
Right.
But when you get into the late second quarter, most players have forgotten what that was about.
Exactly. Especially high school players.
Well,
Game plan, what was the game plan? They forgot that on Tuesday.
hey, once you start playing, you don't have time. If you haven't practiced it, it's not going to go so well anyway.
So as you said, the Irish really needed
Oh.
that score, and especially going into halftime. Now Berne Union will have to kick off as well to Fisher Catholic, so potential. Now, minute 52 to go and all 3 timeouts for the Rockets, and they're a quick strike offense. So if the Irish are thinking they can coast into halftime, they got another thing coming.
No, they probably scored too soon
Vio
here.
will be kicking off for the Irish.
Vio will be kicking off. And we talked about how dangerous the special teams unit is for Berne Union. Friesner back deep. We've seen how explosive he's been tonight. And he will take this from the 9. Trying to get to the sidelines.
Building a wall, Josh.
And he gets there and stays in bounds. And he'll get it out across the 40-yard line. Looked like he was going to run out of real estate.
From here it's hard to tell.
Right.
Just because it's clear across the field, but he's just such a weapon. They really set that thing up well, heading to the right, and we're trying to build a wall.
Frank on the tackle for the Irish.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Berne Union at the 42-yard line with 1:39 to go and 3 timeouts, and the clock stopping high school football. That's a ton of time.
I'd watch Sammy Obnall on this drive, guys. Hadn't called his name a lot tonight, but he has been a difference maker for this team throughout the season. Could see him here just with 1:39 left before halftime.
Lined up at the bottom of your picture near the scoreboard. Back to pass, throwing over the middle, wide open, and unable to haul that in was the intended receiver. That was Gavin Garner, or rather the tight end Staten, the intended receiver.
He's really come along. Coach Herbst mentioned him. He goes, we don't throw to the tight end a lot, but he got 5 passes against a route versus Worthing Christian. And he said, if we can get him involved offensively, wow, we've really got a lot of choices.
And he's got good size, 6'4", 210. Brings up 2nd down. We have 3 receivers lined up to the bottom of the formation. Back to pass, Nemeth looking left, pumps. Will throw it out left side. Catch is made, and sliding out of bounds was Gaudenschwager.
Really nice throw.
That throw was on a rope, guys. I know. Goodness, I know Nemeth is a really good athlete, has a really good arm, but I was really impressed standing on the sideline here watching that one.
Yeah, the touch that he's shown tonight, and knowing when to throw the fastball and when to throw the changeup.
Yeah, but he's been accurate with it
Right,
also, which is
right.
impressive to me.
clock is stopped after the completion, able to get out of bounds and preserve some time. Not that that's too much of a consideration right now. Namath will drop back. Throw it deep down the right side, incomplete. Looking for him at the 24-yard line, but too tall for him.
I gave him the jinx every time.
They can't hear us.
No, it's just one of those sports things that seems to work, Josh.
Indeed it does. Never fails when they're shooting free throws either.
Rockets.
Amna had 2 receiving touchdowns last week against Grove City Christian. Also ran a punt back. Smith will work out of the pistol here on second down. Gonna put it up again. He's got Amna over the middle. This time he cuts it back, gets out of another tackle, and finally taken down from behind.
Pass complete to Amna. Ben Boyden on the tackle for the Irish.
And now the Rockets will burn their first timeout with 1:06 to go. As we get another look at that last play.
Timeout Rockets.
A little touch right there.
He had plenty of real estate to work with.
Backyard football at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Tends to try to tackle the ball, strip it.
And
Not a bad idea.
And Ben Boyden coming from behind makes the play. Good effort there by Boyden.
Let's give a big shout out to Buffalo Wild Wings, Josh. Thanks to Larry Tipton and the crew for great food, great service, and the best sports viewing in town. It's all at Buffalo Wild Wings in the Plaza Shopping Center on North Memorial Drive in Lancaster.
Some wings sound good right about now as we get to halftime.
I'm sure Donnie would like to go out and pick us up some.
I'm
wouldn't he?
sure he would.
Yeah.
I know he likes wings for a fact, so
Yeah, well,
I think he's already on his way to go do that.
I can see his smile now.
Exactly. So it'll be third down after the timeout. It'll be 3rd and 7 for the Rockets. With 1:06 to go, still 2 timeouts remaining, trying to get some more points on the board here before
3rd
halftime.
and 7 for the Rockets from the 36-yard line.
They'll spread it out again. Low snap. Namath's going to take it, and he's got some running room. Spins away from a defender, and he's going to be taken down near the first down marker. Had to get to the 29, was taken down right at the 29-yard line as Kavanaugh Frank makes the stop.
They gave him the first down.
They are moving the sticks and wind the clock with 55 seconds.
Boy, he's so dangerous here. Just got so much room to operate.
Friesner slung down there on that play as he picks up 5 yards to the 25-yard line, and immediately Berne Union calls their second timeout, which we will remind you again, brought to you tonight by the Carriage Company. I'm noticing some rain coming down. Is it harder down there, or is it still a mist there, Marianne?
No, it's coming down pretty steadily now, guys. And it's funny, I was looking at the radar before the game started, and it looked like once the game got going, I was thinking maybe midway through the first quarter we would have been done with all the rain. At least maybe I was hopeful. I'm certainly not a weatherman, but as it's starting to come down now with Berne Union in the position to start to throw the ball a little bit more, trying to get to the end zone, we'll see if that becomes a factor.
You have my sympathies down there as I see the rain coming down.
I appreciate that. I've got the hood up, as you can see now, so you can tell it's coming down a little harder.
I know that doesn't mean much coming from somebody who's inside a nice dry building, but
Right, yeah. I'll remember that here later as the season goes on, buddy.
it makes you appreciate the nights when you're up here, right?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Second down. Namath going to put it up once more. He's got a man over the middle, incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
Trying to hit Staten.
Yeah. Unable to haul it in, may have been able to take that in for a score. That's probably one Staten's going to wish he had back.
Yeah, even though it's a wet ball at this point, you still think you ought to and probably should catch those.
More importantly, brings up third down for Berne
Third
Union.
and 6 for the Rockets.
And you wonder with the rain coming down if this may be 4-down territory just because of the trickiness of trying to kick in this weather.
You know, it just depends on how much, you know, they think Friesner hit what his distance is. You just don't know.
Right.
Because you haven't seen him enough to really make that, you know, comment whether they'll go for a field goal.
Right. Need to get just inside the 20 to pick up a first down. Play clock inside of 5. Nemeth back to pass. He's going to tuck it and run. He's going to have the first down. Cutting it back across the field. Tries to get to the pylon. He dives, and he is in. Touchdown, Rockets.
He's so dangerous from that pistol position.
Just the effort that Nate Nemeth shows on that play to get in for the score.
He's got great vision. You know, he knows when to bounce that thing. He avoids people at his feet and then gets outside where he can use his speed. Right here, watch him get outside and then turn it on up the sideline.
Dove for that pylon. And remember, he's only a junior.
Heck of a player right now. He's made himself into a very good player.
Friesner to add the extra point. And it is good. And so now with 26 seconds left in the half, the score is Berne Union 28 and Fisher Catholic 7.
Yeah, what we said, they left them too much time.
Yes. Yeah, certainly whatever momentum Fisher Catholic had built up by getting that score, the Rockets just came and took it away.
Yeah, you just, you know, if you're here with Coach Timmis, you just convince him, keep playing. Play hard, keep playing, and see if we can put some more points on the board. Yes, there's Jane Timmis, Luke's mom.
Of course, should mention Luke in his second season at Fisher Catholic, taking over for head coach Doug Miller, who I found out is the offensive coordinator now at Taze Valley.
Good for him.
So, and that's a team that's had very much success this season, and except for last week against Bloom Carroll.
Yeah, I mean, that was you know, really amazing to see that score when both teams went in undefeated. And Bloom Carroll just kind of took them out to the shed and gave them a whooping.
I was at that game last week, and I tell you, it is impressive what Coach Bartholomew has done with those Bulldogs this year, and they look primed for a deep run into the playoffs.
They've been good for quite a while now. He does a tremendous job.
This kickoff will head out of bounds, so the Irish will get it at the 35-yard line with 26 seconds. Just one timeout remaining. May not be enough time to do much.
Funny thing about that kickoff, guys, that's probably the only blemish on Friesner's night tonight. And you'd have thought he, you know, dropped the 80-yard touchdown pass. He had his hands on his hips and was just disgusted with himself on that one.
Maybe it's an area he's continuing to work on. You never know.
Yeah, that might be his one blind spot, the kickoff portion of his game.
Hey, you love kids that want to be good.
That's right. That's so true, Shu.
And he's a good basketball player as well. Get a chance to see him during basketball season. Tenza will get the carry here on first down and going straight ahead, and that likely will take us to halftime. The Irish would not have to run another play if they so desire. And Coach Timmis with the headset off just kind of told his players that's enough for the half, and they're going to take it into the locker room trailing 28-7. It's been all Rockets, and they will head to the break with the lead. Stay tuned. The halftime band show is coming up next. You're watching the IVP Sports Buffalo Wild Wings Game of the Week.
Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Fairfield Medical Center took care of me like I was family.
I was made to feel like I was the only person that they were going to see that day, even though I knew that wasn't the case.
Everyone at Fairfield Medical Center was very attentive. They just put my mind at ease.
I was there for 12 days, and I felt comfortable there.
We were people to them, not a number. They took the time to get to know us, our personalities.
Well, they saved my life. You know, how do you beat that?
I don't know how I could have gotten through it without them.
Experience Fairfield Medical Center.
Come experience the Huddle Tire difference. Locally owned and operated since 1910, we're your independent tire and auto repair shop. We carry all major brands of tires, including Goodyear, Cooper, BF Goodrich, and many more. But we're more than just tires. From safety inspections to alignments, brakes, shocks, and struts, even preventive maintenance, we can handle it all. Enjoy the ride at Huddle Tire Company, 300 South Columbus Street, or we can be reached at our website at huddletire.com.
Life is unpredictable. That's why estate planning is important. Estate planning provides you comfort and peace of mind knowing that you're taking care of your loved ones and ensuring your legacy lives on just as you envisioned. You lived a life that is beautifully and uniquely yours. You deserve an estate planning attorney who understands that and creates a plan as unique as you and in the best interest of your loved ones. You deserve the local, trusted, experienced attorneys at Dagger Law.
Hi, I'm Carol Whittington, and I would like to invite you to stop by Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, located at 1540 Hubbard Drive in Lancaster. We are a small family-owned business and have been servicing the Central Ohio and Hocking Hills area since 2003. Graduations with a personal touch, weddings with a personal touch, corporate events with a personal touch. Please call us today for all your party rental needs, 740-689-6991.
questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals. We give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
My name is Ernest Elton Keaton, Ernie, 11th month, 15th day of 1947. I have a very interesting life. I worked for 51 years. It just come to me, what I wanted to do. Come a long way with all the pictures I've taken. I enjoy doing it to make people not sad, but happy. You know, and I have. I'm trying to do the best I can, be kind to people and everything. So I try my very best to do what's right and not wrong. It'd be a boring world if everybody did be everything. Same thing, same lights, you know. It'd be a boring world, I think.
Being a first-time parent is very nerve-wracking going into the hospital. You don't really know what to expect. The nurses, the staff, the doctors, everyone at Fairfield Medical Center was very attentive. They just put my mind at ease. They answered any questions we asked. They supported us through the whole delivery, the post-delivery, our stay in the hospital. We felt like we were part of their family. I wouldn't have put myself or my daughter in anybody else's hands. Experience Fairfield Medical Center.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Fairfield Medical Center, Park National Bank, Dagger Law, the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, Standing Stone Bank, Fairfield DD, North Body Shop, Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, the Edwards Insurance Agency, Buckeye Toyota, the Carriage Company, Huddle Tire and Auto, the Fairfield County Commissioner's Office, South Central Power, Sheridan Funeral Home, and Buckeye Lake Marina.
Life is unpredictable. That's why estate planning is important. Estate planning provides you comfort and peace of mind knowing that you're taking care of your loved ones and ensuring your legacy lives on just as you envisioned. You lived a life that is beautifully and uniquely yours. You deserve an estate planning attorney who understands that and creates a plan as unique as you and in the best interest of your loved ones. You deserve the local, trusted, experienced attorneys at Dagger Law.
Come experience the Huddle Tire difference. Locally owned and operated since 1910, we're your independent tire and auto repair shop. We carry all major brands of tires, including Goodyear, Cooper, BF Goodrich, and many more. But we're more than just tires. From safety inspections to alignments, brakes, shocks, and struts, even preventive maintenance, we can handle it all. Enjoy the ride at Huddle Tire Company, 300 South Columbus Street, or we can be reached at our website at huddletire.com.
Woody with United Way of Fairfield County. Our mission is to utilize all resources to achieve the greatest impact on our local needs, and this can only be accomplished through the local support and generous donations from businesses like Buckeye Toyota through their Buckeye Cares program. That means Buckeye Toyota will make a donation to the United Way with every vehicle sold this month. Thank you, Buckeye Toyota, for all your support.
Thank you for calling Buckeye Toyota. How may I help you?
And going above and beyond to make the student athletes
Welcome back to Fulton Field as we get ready to start second half action. 28-7. Berne Union leads Fisher Catholic. Josh Messerly alongside Tim Shoemaker, Marion Royster down the field. And about what we expected, I think, out of the Rockets, certainly on offense here in the first half.
I thought they were very impressive. I mean, hardly any backward plays at all, Josh. They did kind of what they wanted. They have big plays. They've run the ball inside. Nemeth looks really good. I keep wanting to call him Namath. He looks like Joe Namath sometimes here. But, they just have a lot of weapons offensively, and then you put a good line in front of them. All of a sudden, you got a very dangerous team here.
Marion, we'll check in with you down on the field. Second half looks like conditions may be improving, although when we went to the half, it was coming down pretty good.
Throughout the half, Josh, but the rain has completely let up now. So cross our fingers, see if that holds off for the remainder of the game. But it is still extremely wet out here. So again, we'll see if it affects conditions to throw the ball, and most importantly, ball security. There would be no better way for Fisher Catholic to get back into this game than if Berne Union has a couple turnovers, fumbles, or quarterback running back exchanges that go wrong. And likewise, a quicker way for Berne to blow the game open even more would be if Fisher has the same. So these just some things to look for in the second half here with the weather conditions.
And we'll definitely keep our eyes out for that. Really a credit to both teams, Tim, that we did not see any turnovers there in the first half.
None at all, and very few penalties, actually. I thought it was a pretty clean half.
Right. And, of course, you expect that week 10. You see a lot of sloppy play early in the season, but by now, a lot of those mistakes as far as penalties goes should not occur as much.
You would certainly hope so. I mean, I know Coach Timmis feels really good about how his team's improved throughout the year. He had a mix of young players and older talent players that he said have done a really good job with their leadership, and he just feels good about the group, because when you do improve, that's a really good thing heading into the postseason, regardless of how many games you play. The fact that you're improving, and he's got a big challenge here the second half. You have to make some adjustments, but there's only so many things you can do. And, with no turnovers, what else can you tell them,
Yeah, there's only so many things you can do and so many things you can say. And, if nothing else, maybe work on a few things that you want to clean up going into the playoffs. Berne Union will be kicking off to start the second half. Friesner, who did about everything in the first half for the Rockets, will be doing that. It'll be Jack Wright and Jack Tenza back at the 10-yard line awaiting the kick. And we're underway in the second half, and it will be Wright from the 7 as he bobbles it. Finds a seam out to the 30, to the 40, and Friesner will attempt to slow him down and does just that before help arrives. But a good return by Jack Wright to start the second half.
I will tell you this, he's one of those kickers that you might get by him, but you're not going to outrun him.
No, you are not. We get another look at the return.
Sometimes when you bobble a ball, like on the kickoff, the timing of the team that's covering the coverage is just off a little bit.
You wonder why that is. It must be maybe just discipline getting out of their lanes.
No, maybe, or, I looked at that, replay there, and we saw Jack Wright. There were a lot of Rockets already upfield beyond him by the time, and he accelerated. They were kind of left in the dust.
Along with Bauer.
Minimal gain there or actually a loss of 1 on first down.
From the 47.
Irish were most successful offensively in the first half, running Jack Tenza off tackle. We'll see if the Rockets come up with any adjustments Second and 11, it'll be Tenza, and he will drag a couple defenders to midfield. Picks up about 3. He'll still bring up 3rd and long. If you're going to tackle Jack Tenza, you better go low.
Well, he had both arms around the football, and it looked like a bull in the china shop right there.
Bauer in on the stop for Berne Union. Brings up 3rd and 8. And here's an inside handoff on the counter to Wright. Breaks one tackle, but gets tripped up by Friesner back at the 49-yard line for a loss of a yard. And I'll bring up 4th down, and the Irish will send on the punt unit. As you see, Carlton Ryder, the public address announcer, longtime PA announcer here for the Irish. We understand the spotter next to him is a Denver Broncos fan, so he's probably a little sad today after the Browns beat the Broncos last night.
I'm not even a fan, and watching them made me sad.
I think we were all sad for watching that game, right? Well, I understand one of our crew members, Jason Roush, at that game last night.
And he's here tonight, which is remarkable.
Acquaintance with the punt. It'll hit the 30-yard line. May have hit off a Berne Union player. Irish think so, but the officials do not agree. As we hear next door, the Berne Union coaches saying, "Get away from the football."
Funny thing happened on that one, guys. It went right between his legs, right through the wickets, as they say. Ian Northrup was right there, and you'll see it. It went right through his legs.
And we are seeing that right now. Playing croquet right there on that punt.
Yep.
Wow.
So the Rockets will have it for the first time here to start the second half, trying to add to their lead. Nemeth will work out of the pistol as he has so effectively tonight. And here is Friesner at a big hole, but it closed quickly. And first to make the tackle was Jack Carpenter. Also a little help from Kavanaugh Frank.
Jack Carpenter's played really well in the corners tonight, guys. From that outside linebacker position, has done a nice job of shutting down a lot of those runs on the corner by Friesner before they get started. Certainly not all of them. Friesner's still having a great night, but Carpenter's playing pretty well.
Yeah, indeed, Friesner is having himself a good night, but Carpenter right there to make the stop, and only a yard gain on that play. Nemeth will throw back to Amna on the near side on the screen. Weaves through the defense, but a nice tackle made on the edge. As coming up to make the tackle is Nick Dolce, a junior for the Irish. Pick up a 4 on that reception.
For the Rockets. Number 32.
Rockets certainly taking some time here on this play. It looks like a little adjustment made for Friesner. Nemeth helping his teammate out. There's Friesner. He's going to have the first down and more into Irish territory, down the sidelines, and he takes it off, and he's going to score.
68 yards on that one.
And by the time he got to the 40-yard line, it looked like there might have been a chance, but that angle got real flat in a hurry.
Nah, he's just dynamite. He's a special back.
Again, Fisher had a chance to get him in the backfield, but it's easier said than done with Friesner. He is such a, as you said, such a dynamic athlete and just as shifty as they come. Great feet, great moves, just hard to tackle.
Yeah, he's pretty much done it all tonight, and you'll see him attempt the extra point here. And his kick is up and good. Perfect on the night on extra points. Makes it 35-7 in favor of Berne Union. With 8:10 to go here in the third quarter. Getting real close to being a running clock in this one.
Yeah, just can't take away the big plays. You know, they're just so explosive. Nemeth and Friesner, they're just that good.
Yeah, indeed, and you know, we said it earlier, this Berne Union team is going to be very dangerous when it comes to the playoffs, and It probably feels like they had a little bit of unfinished business from a year ago, and had probably one of their most successful seasons in recent memory, and trying to repeat that and go a little bit beyond.
Yeah, when I talked to Coach Herbst about that topic, he said the top of our region is really strong. You talk about Trimble, who's been a state caliber team every year. That's who knocked them out last year pretty easily too, he said. Newark Catholic's back, even though Marion's alma mater took care of them last week to get them out of the undefeated. But they're 8-1 and very good also. And then East Knox has had a very, very good program up there, and they're competitive. Shady Side is always right there. They were second in the region. Berne's second now, but Shady Side's third. And finally, I know Waterford is another team there in Eastern Ohio. They play really good schedule and play hard.
Squib kick, and it's going to be loose, and the Rockets have recovered at the 39-yard line.
Rockets recover the ball.
Slippery football probably makes that one a tough one to feel, so we'll get another look at it. It looked like an opportunity for Simon Messerly to haul it in, unable to get it, and the Rockets take advantage.
Well, that oblong ball takes funny bounces sometimes, especially on this turf.
First and 10 for the Rockets.
It was Garrett Carpenter on the recovery for Berne Union. And the Rockets are in business at the Irish 39-yard line. We understand that Fisher Catholic's volleyball team still doing well in tournament play. Their second round game is tomorrow, as we're in the postseason play in most fall sports other than football.
Yeah, they've had a real good season, the volleyball team.
Here's a handoff, and Carpenter running over a defender. Coach Leslie Davenport for that Fisher Catholic team's got her ladies ready to go for tomorrow's match. We wish them good luck. Here's another look at Carpenter's run. Real physical here. Delivers a blow to Jack Carpenter. Carpenter on Carpenter crime right there.
Yeah. The only Carpenter I've seen run harder is Rob.
I've seen a few run. Yeah, John Carpenter in there as well. Take your pick on that. 2nd and 1. Carpenter again, he's got the first down. He'll be wrapped up at the 29-yard line.
But, talking about this playoff thing coming up with Berne, I know the biggest concern, they've had so many blowout games, and you can't apologize for that or whatever, but your players have, I was talking to some of the camera guys over here and they said their starters have only played 4 quarters in one game this year. And that's a concern of his. And he said, so I've been practicing hard. We've been working really hard on trying to stay focused, make them concentrate, make practices tough and competitive, because he knows down the road it's going to get tougher.
Yeah, it's the double-edged sword you have when you have success in blowout wins, is you don't get that experience of playing 4 quarters.
And it's good for you getting JV and backup guys experience at the game and everything, but you need your people who are going to be on the field to be able to play, 48 minutes of high school football.
Friesner carries down to the 25-yard line. The other thing you wonder is about conditioning. It's been a while since you've had the 2-a-days and all of that really heavy conditioning work. Can you have the stamina to play 4 quarters?
Well, when I asked Coach Herbst that exact question, you've been going through this. What are your concerns? And he says, conditioning number 1, and the ability for players to concentrate and focus number 2 for that long a time.
Nemeth on the carry, driven back. They'll have 4 progress up to the 22-yard line. Well, certainly they've looked like a focused team tonight. That you can check that one off.
No, like I said, I see them as able to execute. They're confident. They have a lot of weapons. We haven't seen a lot of errors or mistakes. No turnovers, limited penalties. They just have a really, really good football team.
From the 21.
And I'll add to that, Shu, they are a way more complete football team, specifically on offense, than I would have ever thought they would. This is the first time watching them, and I was very surprised to see how well Nemeth throws the football. Again, I knew he was a good athlete, knew he could throw the ball a little bit, but he's got a live arm. They've got weapons on the outside. If they need to beat folks with the pass later on down the road in the playoffs, I think they can do so.
Third down, option pitch. Friesner cuts it back. He's got the first down, ran right into Jack Tinzo. Who popped him, but it will be enough, though, for a Berne Union first down.
Jack Tenzo on the tackle.
Well, once you get a taste of it, sometimes you got to lose one of those games in a playoff in sports, whether it be like a district or, that was a regional semifinal last year. Sometimes you got to lose one of those for the kids to kind of really understand what it takes and then not like the feel of it. And you come back the next year and you want to change that feeling that you had after that night. I've been there, believe me.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit of that adversity.
It does.
To build some motivation.
Well, you certainly get their attention, and I think, that's a big thing you always worry about too is you want them confident, but you don't want them, to a point of being arrogant to think that they can't be beat.
Friesner carries down to the 12-yard line, so pickup of 3 there on first down as clock ticks down inside of 4.5 to play in the third quarter as the ball spotted at the 12-yard line, and Rockets doing a good job of just chewing up time here in the third quarter, which is exactly what they want to do.
Yes, and I don't want to give them the curse of death, but I think they can win the region. When I look, I know Trimble, and what they've gotten done over the years. We all know Newark Catholic.
Yes.
But we're Berne Union. At some point you say, I used to tell our players, why not us?
Yeah. We'll take a look at the region computer points, to your point, Tim, after this play. And here is a handoff. Friesner cutting it back in for a touchdown.
Friesner for the touchdown.
He is a special player. Just as Tenza is for Fisher, he is for Berne.
Just electric as he takes it in for the score. And makes it 41-7. There's another look at the end of that run.
Yeah, that's like a hop, skip, and a jump right there.
That's as quickly as he got it into the end zone. And he'll be on to attempt the extra point.
Friesner will be attempting the extra point.
Kick is up. And the kick is good. So with 3:41 to go in the third quarter, the new score is Berne Union 42, Fisher Catholic 7. Let's take a look at the Division 7 Region 27 computer points. And to your point, Tim, just a loaded region as you look at the top of it, Newark Catholic and Shadyside.
Yeah, and Berne's up to second now. After they calculated last week and everything, they put them at second, which really doesn't matter. But you look at the top 12 teams here, you start talking about, like I said, Waterford and Trimble. East Knox has a great program. Newark Catholic, Shady. I mean, it's going to be a battle. But they're sitting good, and you just got to become focused for 1 week at a time on the opponent that is, and then not listen to what people or things are being said out there. Just focus and play, and Fisher's in a good position.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking at right now. They would probably go to Frontier,
Jack
which
Tenza,
I'm sure
Jack
is a
Wright
team they
for the
certainly can
Irish.
compete with.
And we'll take a look at here's how the Irish got to this point. You notice they did not play last week, technically going down as a forfeit. But,
yeah, they've done a great job. Luke's done a great job. This program was really way down here a couple years ago. We weren't sure there was even going to be enough to, form a team. Yeah, to keep a program going. And he's done a good job. They've improved, like I said. They play hard. They just need to keep it going, keep picking it up, and getting in the postseason. And like we said, as a senior, cherish it.
And you see Berne Union's their schedule and a couple road games kind of going down the ways into Southern Ohio to play.
Well, they thought they were going to beef up their schedule because Cold Grove and Caldwell had a quarterback. He's injured.
Yeah.
So they lost their quarterback, so that changed. And Cold Grove's always has a good team. And, he said they just weren't as strong as they have been. And that's when I asked him, I said, or are you just better than what you think? Who knows?
Right.
But you do want to prepare your team for down the road. And like I said, they know the challenges are coming there. It's as good a region as there is in Division 7. Other than Maria Stein, which is kind of dominated in Region 28. This region has teams just as good as the other ones.
Yeah, if you win this region, you'll be tested once you get to the Final Four,
well,
that's for sure.
You're supposed to be good at that point
right.
if you get there.
Tends again on the carry, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. And as you mentioned, Berne Union, looking, they're the lock at this point to make the playoffs in Region 27. Could be as high as a 2 seed. Probably not going to catch Newark Catholic, but they're going to be playing a first-round home game, we know, next week.
Yes.
And for Fisher Catholic, sitting at 10, they still have a chance to get in, but they're going to finish somewhere between 9 and 16, probably in the bottom half, so they'll likely be on the road next week.
Yeah, I think somebody had figured that out a little bit and talked to them. It looked like they were going to be 11th or 12th, honestly, the way the matchups come. I don't calculate all those second level points and all that. Great
Kiefer
run.
hits it out in the flats to O'Reilly, who puts on nifty move and gets out across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Still bring up fourth down. The Irish, with the score the way it is, going to leave the offense out in the field.
Well, that's going to help them. If Kiefer can learn to throw a few passes, that'll open them up even that much more. I don't think he's going to be able to quite run the ball like Marion was talking about, the value of having that also. But even if he can just throw the ball to people quickly and get them out on the perimeter, that's a weapon in itself.
Fourth down for the Irish. Kiefer will work out of the shotgun. Low snap. He's going to get upfield and nothing doing. And that low snap really hampered efforts to pick up the first down as Dylan Winkler makes the stop. It'll be a turnover on downs with the running clock going inside of a minute.
Tackled by Winkler.
We'll mention here before we get to the end of the quarter, we're just to wrap up our discussion on playoffs for Division 7. Still a couple other area teams with the shots in Division 7. Fairfield Christian, they were not in our picture there, but they were coming into this week 16th, playing against Millersport tonight, and a chance, if they can win that game, to get a little help and maybe sneak into the playoffs. Likely playing on the road, though.
Yeah, I mean, you want to make the playoffs. If you have a young team, you're going to get some more reps. You're going to get a week of practice and go play. I mean, they had a nice win down at Miller last week, which going on the road with the team that's been up and down, that was a nice win for them.
And same with Millersport, a program that's back in play this year. They had a chance going into tonight with a win over Fairfield Christian, as there's a pass out into the flat and taking it in for the score, as that's Ian Staten on the reception.
Yeah, a little tight end and out here in the flat. As I told you before, Coach Herbst had mentioned how he's really come along for them.
And great to see for Staten, because he had a couple of drops earlier tonight and able to haul one in and make a big score for the Rockets.
Yeah, you love that for a senior.
That extends the lead to 48-7, as we'll have the extra point to bring us to the end of the quarter as well. That kick is up and good to make it 49-0 and bring us, 49-7 to bring us to the end of the third quarter. And Tim, earlier this week we had a customer come into our office with a request to transfer a videotape from Licking Valley and Akron St. Vincent St. Mary, a playoff game from about 20 years ago. It was LeBron James's final high school football game. So you go from a guy who is known for playing basketball, playing football. We've got a guy who's known for playing football, but we got some footage of him in high school playing some basketball. Our very own Marion Royster hooping it up for the Heath Bulldogs back in 1996. As we check out this play, I'll let you describe this one, Tim.
Wow. Bad pass and a steal.
And watch number 21 come from behind here.
That's Kruger there. That's got to be Kruger. He's always shooting. Marion know to get to the boards. And Marion, look at him, sky and lay it in.
Beautiful play there. That's like you teach it, right?
Hey, sprint the floor, get to the boards. And like I said, with Kruger, he's going to cast it, so get there.
And there's Marion.
I don't know what's going on right now, guys, but I certainly appreciate the efforts there to give old has-been, a little recognition of what days that once were. And I was actually mentioned in the same conversation as LeBron James. So, Josh, I'm going to hold you to that.
Thank you.
And I'm going to tell all my kids that there was a amazing play-by-play guy who compared me to LeBron James at one point.
You had as much talent as LeBron had at high school football, right?
Absolutely.
Playing an off sport, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
Well, something like that.
If you say so.
Wright brings it out on the return.
He's been very humble. I know in my early times at Fisher, we had to account for Mario.
And that was against Fisher Catholic. Were you on the bench on that game?
I couldn't tell who the players were on the Fisher.
It was 96, December of 96 it was that game.
I'm trying to think. I think so. I think it was the first year, and we went up there, and I think I don't recall most games, but I think the Bulldogs beat us in overtime up there.
That would have been Andy Connell, and Barry Kruger had quite the shoot-off there. I think one went for 30, another went for 35, and we did win an overtime shoe.
Yeah, I just, for some reason, I don't remember all of them, but sometimes, I just remember Coach Klont sitting down the corner down there, too. For some reason. He was sitting down right down from our bench.
Sounds like defense was optional in that game.
Well, no. Those guys could shoot the ball. But like I said, those were fun days and fun times, and I feel fortunate to even have Mari on here with all he's done.
Absolutely, and we credit our director, producer Bob Campetti for coming up with the archival footage.
I'm going to find out where Bob found that footage, and I think he may have gotten it from my wife.
I was going to say, I think he had some inside help.
That's right, yeah. So I'll have some words with her when I get home, or probably not. I'm just talking tough on camera.
Yeah, it might be wise not to. I'm just going to suggest that.
Don't let her watch the replay.
What? I didn't say that. I swear.
No. Well, they were hunting for some for Bob, but they were in fossils.
You probably won't be allowed to talk the rest of the game now. Your mic's been cut off.
I've been muted before.
First down picked up there by the Irish inside of 10 minutes to play in this one. Well, they're going to have to dig really hard to find archive of me, so that's good. I'm happy for that. Go need a shovel for that. First and 10 from the 40-yard line, and a handoff straight ahead. Tenza will pick up a couple there on first down. As we would look ahead to some other area teams in the playoff picture, we go to Division I. Lancaster, still an opportunity to play next week. They're a lock to make the playoffs because there are only 19 teams and 16 teams getting in. Only 3 are not going to be in, and the Gales will be somewhere in the middle, somewhere in the 10 to 15 range, and likely on the road for the first round.
Yeah, the D1 regions, unfortunately, are only, with 17 to 19 teams, so you're kind of really dipping in at the bottom there. Not that those teams don't deserve to play, but they haven't had very good seasons, some of them, so the Division I games next week might be a little top-heavy.
Indeed.
And I'm sure the Gales will have no problem with the Newark Wildcats.
They were not. As we check the score at halftime, they were handily beating Newark up at Whitefield tonight.
So they might get a 10th or 11th seed. I know they're not going to gain, but at least they will end with a win.
But the secondary points, you never know how that shapes up, and that can be the difference between a certain seed or bumping up a couple seeds.
Yeah, those L2s are hard to figure out.
We'll talk about Division 4 and Division 5 here in a moment. Here's a handoff to Wright on the end around. He'll get it to the 45-yard line as he was taken down. Looked like by Chase Bolin, or rather it was Bauer on the stop there for Berne Union. In Division 4, no surprise, Bloom Carroll is a lock to get in and pretty much guarantee the number 1 seed. They are playing like a number 1 seed.
Just a tremendous year for Coach Bartholomew and the whole Carroll program.
Yeah, they're a team, getting to the state semifinal as Wright gets a handoff, shakes and bakes, gets flipped over at the 38-yard line. Amna on the stop. And so the Bloom Carroll team will be a tough out next week and beyond in the playoffs. And here in a few moments, we'll be naming our players of the game for both teams as well. Here's a handoff to Tenza, and he stepped out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Just to finish up the discussion in the playoffs real quickly, Amanda Clear Creek with likely to make the playoffs. They could be anywhere from 7 to 12 seed in Division 5, Region 19. Still a chance for the Aces to have a home game next week, depending how things shake up. And Liberty Union, an opportunity if they win tonight to be anywhere from a 10 to 16 seed, but they were going to be playing on the road next week, assuming they get in, which they will probably still get in regardless of tonight's outcome.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, in some of these regions, you just don't know, Josh, how they're going to pan out. They're, some are more top-heavy than others as far as how talented
Second and 5 for the Irish from the 30-yard line.
Be second down for the Irish, and after this play, we will name our Berne Union player of the game, which will be brought to you by Park National Bank. Let's see what the Irish come up with here on 2nd and 5. Back to pass is Kiefer, and catch is made. That is O'Reilly making the catch.
Wow, what a nice throw.
And O'Reilly paid the price for that, as he was hit immediately.
Hey, Kiefer put that on the money.
It had some zip on it too, Looked really good from down here on the field.
Enough for a first down for the Irish. Clock ticking inside of 6 minutes to play. Tenza gets the handoff left side. Drags a couple of defenders for a short game. Tonight's Berne Union player of the game brought to you by Park National Bank. National Bank is a family community banking that delivers a exceptional breadth and depth of resources to individuals and businesses, providing a hands-on, personalized approach to service and strong local leadership. Invest deeply in the places we live and work. Park National Bank, where you mean more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Josh, we've seen Berne have a really good team and do a lot of good things, a lot of players, but Friesner changes your whole offense.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's, and all he does, he played well defensively. He's kicking the extra points. He hasn't missed one. I think number 2, Bray Friesner, 5'9", 150-pound senior for Berne, deserves player of the game.
Probably the easiest player of the game selection you have all season.
Well, yeah, but Nemeth did well.
True.
He that run that got called back was about as good as we've seen.
Yeah, too bad for him. It was all for naught.
And guys, do we know how many touchdowns Friesner? And I know we don't have stats tonight, but did he end up with 6 touchdowns? Maybe 7.
Well,
Staten had 1.
Yeah. He came in with 17, Marion.
Yeah, I think
he's in the 20s at least. We know that.
Yeah, I think he had 5 or 6 scores tonight. I mean, that's just remarkable.
Yes.
Here's Tenza. He will go in for the touchdown. Jack Tenza will put it in the end zone with 4:18 to go. And that'll segue into our Fisher Catholic player of the game, brought to you by the Edwards Insurance Agency, specializing in providing personalized insurance coverage that meets the needs of our individual clients. Contact Todd or Dale Edwards today.
Vito for the extra point.
We've seen Fisher before, and Tenz is so impressive. He is a special player, but I really think the player that's had a really big game for Fisher tonight is Jack Wright. He caught a pass out here in the flat really well. He's done a lot of things for the team. Just being a sophomore, I just think he deserves to be recognized as the player of the game for Fisher Catholic tonight.
And he had a good kick return as well. It was a bobble,
right.
But he was able to recover, regain himself, and turn it into a nice return.
So congrats to Jack Wright. He is well deserving.
There's Jack Wright there on the field, going out for the kickoff team, and likely we'll see the good hands teams for both teams. 49-14 after that score.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch these teams as they enter the playoffs, to see how they respond. I mean, against really high-level competition, it's going to be fun.
And it'll be interesting this year with the expanded playoffs to see how that turns out. I know Marion, we and I, both of us have talked about it last couple of weeks, and I know he's a big fan of it, and I'm sure you would agree, more opportunities for the kids to get in postseason play.
The only fault I would see with the whole thing is like the Division I regions where there's only 17 teams, or, I think they need to either combine and have 2 regions. They did that at one time.
They did it for a couple of years,
and I'm okay with that, then make it 16.
Right.
Because when you only have that many, but, I went through every region here the last couple days and, looked at things and saw some things. And for the most part, there's a couple of regions that every team's going to have a winning record.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
That is.
Out of 16 teams. So, I think once we get out of the D1, I think it's great. I think it's a great opportunity for players, communities, and everybody. And you never know. You really don't know. Now, obviously, there are some people at that super high level that are going to be very difficult to beat. But you just love the opportunity for people.
There's a handoff, and it looks like a reserve end of the ball game. That's Luke Schaefer on the carry, and Schaefer going to have a first down to the 41-yard line into Irish territory as we're inside 3 minutes to play.
Trying to strip the ball from him, looked like a square dancing move.
Yes, it did. Let's get another look at it.
Watch. Yeah. Got a little do-si-do action here. Jack gets. Who is that for
That
Fisher?
is O'Reilly. Hayden.
Yeah, O'Reilly. See him try to strip this?
Yeah.
And he will not let him have the football.
Holding on to it for dear life, that's for sure.
Swing your partner around and around.
That's right. That's what that looked like. First and 10 for Berne Union as we near 2 minutes to play. Rockets going to milk it down before they snap this next one. And we'll hand off. And again, that carry was made by Schaefer for a minimal gain. We'll remind you, tonight's second half scoreboard sponsor is Buckeye Lake Marina. If you are looking for a new boat, great pre-owned watercraft or a place to get parts for your boat, Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. More information can be found at buckeyeLakeMarina.com. And also, we should acknowledge our IVP Sports crew tonight. And I'll tell you, doing the tough duty tonight. Marion, of course, on the sideline, but our photographers, Jim Spires, our top cameraman, Jason Roush on our middle camera, and Tom Russo on the sidelines, who about got run over in the first half. And as there's Jason there, you got the bags on the camera, and there's Tom. You see what kind of night it's been. They're all suited up and ready to go for this one. And, of course, down in the truck, Bob Campetti, our director-producer, and Shane Messina on replay, and Donnie Ziegfeld on graphics. So hats off to the guys who are out in the bleachers tonight. There's Jim Spires. Yeah, hats off to those guys, and Marion as well for having to deal with the cold weather and the wet weather tonight.
I also want to give a shout-out to both coaches that took time to spend with me to speak to me via technology. And Luke Timmis, couldn't ask for more cooperation. Tony Herb's always good to talk to Tony. He's a good man and doing a great job, and I really do appreciate the time that they take. It helps our broadcast.
Absolutely, and we really appreciate them, athletic directors and athletic secretaries that throughout the year give us information that makes our jobs that much easier. And some places you take it for granted that it doesn't happen, but we've been blessed that many of the schools around here do a great job of returning our calls and emails. And the final seconds will tick off as Berne Union's going to clinch an undefeated season as they get the Gatorade bath on Coach Herbst as well. The 5th undefeated season in school history, the first since 1986. And also, they are Mid-State League Cardinal Division champions.
Congrats. Like I said, it's not easy to win them all. And that 1986 team, I remember, believe it or not, that was Ron Resch was the coach. And they had their playoff game here, and I think it was like Portsmouth West, and they lost 8-7.
Wow.
It was a heck of a football. But that field was a muddy mess at that time.
Sure. Yeah, back in the day when you had the grass and with two teams sharing the field, definitely did not last as long as the turf does. And tell you see some happy Rockets, and they'll move on to the playoffs next week and get to celebrate the championship. And again, you said it earlier in the broadcast, Tim, not an easy thing to do to go undefeated.
I've seen great teams get bumped. You know, you just hope that you go into the postseason now and put all this behind you, because everybody's 0-0. And you got to remember that really happens. I mean, I can tell you stories from, I know West Muskingum had a basketball team that went 20-0 and got beaten the first sectional game. It happens. And you just don't know why, but that's why we play the games.
Absolutely. And for Fisher Catholic, trying to regroup, it's still a team that odds are they're going to be in the playoffs next week. Going to have to go on the road, though, and do it the hard way. But a team that you try and have to just put this behind you and move forward.
Absolutely. And, I mean, they've done, like I said, the kids have worked really hard. They've improved. And you can't ask for much more than that.
As we look down on the field, and we will likely have a game for you next week, but just make sure to check the Interface Video Productions Facebook page. We'll post if we're able to do a game for you next week, just depending on how things shape up. Unfortunately, we won't know the seedings and everything until Sunday when it's all released to the public, and then we'll kind of assess and figure out where we're going to be. But we'll have some postseason football coming in the next few weeks for you, so we'll be excited for that. And I'll tell you, always excited when we get to playoff time.
Oh, nothing more exciting.
And you see some matchups that you don't normally get to see. Right. And, sometimes you see rivalries where you have teams that played once earlier in the year, and then you have maybe some revenge factor coming back and playing a postseason game. I know I had a chance to do some games than that in the past, and those are always awesome. Let's send it down to the fields. Marion Royster is standing by with Coach Herbst. Well, we're actually waiting on Marion as he gets a little bit closer to our camera. We'll stand by, and Marion's now with Coach Herbst.
Okay, thanks, guys. Yep, here with Coach Tony Herbst. Excellent job, guy. Your guys played hard tonight. 9-0, undefeated season, league champs, first time since 1986. How's that feel?
That feels amazing. I mean, it's so awesome for these kids in this community to finally have football that they can be proud of. I mean, I think the last 5 years we've done really, really well, and hopefully that continues and we make a good playoff run.
You guys played, as I said, really hard tonight. We're facing a physical Fisher Catholic team, but really came in and set the tone, had an amazing night by Friesner. Just a fantastic performance, and again, just the physical nature of the football game. What were some of the things you were able to do coming in to maybe prep and have some success tonight?
We had a lot of misdirection. It's really hard when we have Nate back there and Bray back there, and both those guys are hard to bring down one person, and our line is really physical. And they did a good job. We knew Fisher was going to be physical, especially on offense, and that's a really good test for us, prepping us up for playoffs. And all around great job by our staff and all of our players. The sideline was hype all night long, so just a great night.
Going into the playoffs now, second season, going to have a chance to really do some damage and make some noise. Should get a really nice shot to really win your region, perhaps go further. What's your thoughts going into the playoffs?
Hey, just win. Just focus on that game, and that's all you can do. Focus on that game and see what happens.
There you go. Thanks, Coach. Congratulations to you. Best of luck. All right, back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Marion. Great interview down there with Coach Herbst. And, he seems like a guy, much like his team, that's focused on the task at hand, and now it's on to week 11.
Well, I think, the thing is, this is his fourth season, as I said, and they have gotten better each year. You've seen improvement, and they've done a nice job. And, he's confident. He knows what he has. And that's a big thing of it, Josh. When you coach, you got to know what you have. And as he said, we've really honed the offense to our personnel this year. And you could see it tonight. It was very evident.
Yeah, it was. They dominated really from the start, and certainly they're a team that, again, you move on to the playoffs, they're going to be a tough team to deal with, that's for sure.
You got to come to play. They ask you those questions that you can do this and you can do that. You just want to win the next game.
Marion, your final thoughts on tonight's game?
Just what can you say? I mean, Berne Union's got a special group this year. They have a really great opportunity to do something special in the playoffs going forward. It'll be fun to see, fun to watch, see what kind of impact they can have on the playoffs on this season. Maybe set some records and do some things that this school's never done. And for Fisher Catholic, hey, you ran into kind of a juggernaut tonight, but, they still have an opportunity to build on this program, continue to get better, maybe win a playoff game or two, depending on who they, line up with. And that would be a fantastic season, something that I know Coach Timmis would really be proud of. So, some positives that can be taken out of for both teams. But, again, Berne Union, just a great group, and they're going to be fun to watch.
All right, thanks, Marion. Thanks for your work down there on the sidelines. And, Tim, tell you, it was a fun one for us to be back in the booth together, you and I.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a while, and now we're on to the playoffs.
Yeah, it was great tonight. I appreciate it, and I always feel privileged to get to do this. I enjoy it. I'm watching a football game, and I get to talk about the positive things, and there's a ton of positive things that are going on.
Indeed, as the Rockets, as you see, celebrating an undefeated season and a Mid-State League championship as they defeat arch rival Fisher Catholic. Final score 49-14. For Marion Royster and Tim Shoemaker, I'm Josh Messerly. On behalf of all of our IVP Sports crew, thanks for watching the Buffalo Wild Wings Game of the Week, and good night, everybody.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Fairfield Medical Center, Park National Bank, Dagger Law, the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, Standing Stone Bank, Fairfield DD, North Body Shop, Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, the Edwards Insurance Agency, Buckeye Toyota, the Carriage Company, Huddle Tire and Auto, the Fairfield County Commissioner's Office, South Central Power, Sheridan Funeral Home, and Buckeye Lake Marina.